I guess the starting point with a family farm is if you're wanting to increase it or make it more professional or increasing the profitability, I think a good part to that is the development of an advisory board. Look at what's going to be achieved over the next 12 months. That's what really adds value and what really can flow right through to the bottom line in terms of profitability. So a lot of farms are run really well operationally, so that means seeding happens on time, spraying happens on time, shearing happens on time, so all those things happen really, really well. But sometimes strategic thinking and strategic planning might be something that needs a bit more work. And so the role of advisory board can help a family farm define exactly where they want to go and what they want to do. One of the best things we can do is benchmark the business. So that's looking at the overall financial position of the farm. So understanding the things like equity and debt to income ratio and all these different metrics and key performance indicators that should be looked at. And what's the financial position, and making sure that the business is structured appropriately so it's consistently profitable. Other aspects is looking at the land and the capability of the land and what it's actually going to produce and what it's capable of producing. Looking at the water quality and what's the highest and best value use for that water. The people, if there's too many people on the farm or not enough, the farm's grown and we're just trying to do more with the same resource base, then looking at labour and managing that labour is pretty effective. So looking at making sure we've got position descriptions and organisational structure, clear roles and responsibilities, performance management systems, all those sorts of things are pretty important. Looking at personal goals, so actually looking at where actually the family farm want to head. Where do they want to be in 10 or 20 years' time? Is succession part of the game plan, or is it about just develop the farm and we're out again? And looking at the capital expenditure planning for machinery is also critical. And machinery is one of the things that's gone up hugely in cost over the last decade. And so being strategic about those machinery acquisitions is critical. It's quite possible to integrate leasing, share farming and contract farming with a family farm. In fact, I actually quite like it because you end up with a portfolio of different structures. Some family farms fail because they grow too fast. So what happens is they might take on a huge amount of debt which may not be quite sustainable. So it's out of whack in terms of the income that the farm can actually produce. Another one is they just try and take on too much. They might take on too high a debt load with machinery as well. So what that results in is a lot of sticky costs. Other reasons are attention to detail. So things like not getting things done on time, so seeding, spraying, harvesting, all don't happen on time, and that all has knock-on effects. Another major one is dysfunction within the family. So if you've got two brothers or father and son or parents or whatever, doesn't really matter what the dynamics are, and all they're doing is infighting, they're not focusing on the business and how the business is going to be operated and running effectively, and so that dysfunction leads to poor productivity and generally nearly always poor profitability.
Key points, probably the main thing, seasons too.
I think the development of this advisory board is something that provides accountability and an outside set of ears that people can bounce off of, and sometimes a mediator and a facilitator of relationships. So that can make a huge difference in terms of the productivity and the profitability of that family farming business.